Welcome to this video about Rome's conflict with Carthage and its general, Hannibal, pictured here as a strong and stern soldier. Carthage was a wealthy city in North Africa. It had been settled sometime in the 9th century BCE by a group of people from the eastern Mediterranean, known as Phoenicians, who had established a network of trade routes throughout the Mediterranean. Carthage was one of their most prosperous cities. The artificial harbours protected Carthage's huge navy and its trading fleet. By the 3rd century BCE, Carthage had established an impressive trading empire in the western Mediterranean, shown on the map in blue. Rome's interests were in Italy, and for a long time, Carthage and Rome were able to coexist peacefully. However, Rome's expansion into southern Italy resulted in the inclusion of Greek communities into Rome's sphere of control. Greeks had established colonies in southern Italy as far back as the 8th century BCE, and many of these communities depended on their trade for wealth. The main rival of the Greeks for control of trade in the western Mediterranean was Carthage. Thus, Rome's conquest of southern Italy had the effect of involving Rome in the Greek rivalry with Carthage, as Rome was now obliged to look after the interests of the Greeks. Tensions boiled over, and in 264 BCE, the first of several wars between Carthage and Rome began as part of a conflict over Sicily. Rome's eventual success, after 20 years of conflict, was a result of its adaptability and enterprise. Rome added a brilliant innovation to the traditional naval vessel of the time, the corvus. This was a kind of bridge with a spike at the end that dropped down onto the deck of the enemy ship. Troops then boarded the enemy vessel. Carthage had to pay Rome 66 tons of silver and leave Sicily altogether as a punishment. Rome later took Corsica and Sardinia from Carthage as well. The Carthaginians turned to Spain, and this eventually led to further conflict between Rome and Carthage. Rome had become concerned about the growing Carthaginian power in Spain, and tensions increased. One family had emerged as the power family in Carthage, the Barcid family, whose most famous member was Hannibal. Hannibal decided the only way to end Rome's interference in Carthage's Spanish territory was to take on Rome in its own backyard, Italy. With no navy, Hannibal decided the only way to confront Rome directly was to march his army of about 35,000 troops and about 30 elephants through Spain and southern France into Italy. To take the war to the Romans, Hannibal left Saguntum in Spain to march to Italy, taking about 30 to 40 war elephants with him. His route took him along the coast of Spain, across the Pyrenees Mountains and into France. The Romans quickly dispatched their own army to meet him, but Hannibal cleverly avoided it. His crossing of the Alps with his elephants was a remarkable feat, but many died of the cold. Hannibal inflicted heavy defeats on the Romans in 3 major battles in northern Italy, at the Ticinus and Trebia rivers in 218 BCE, and at Lake Trasimene in 217 BCE. The Romans were faced with a crisis.